So it was Italy that came out on top in the Battle of the Juggernauts as they took care of business against France in their own backyard. What's going to go on in match number 2? We'll get into it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're taking a look at the UEFA Nations League, match number 2, part 2, that's right, as Juggernauts France and Italy return to the hot seat. Well, at least France do. We'll get into all of that in a minute. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. They are the patrons, you know who you are. And again, if you're new, a smash the old subscribe, of course. Yes, big games there were this past match week, but now getting into the crunch crushes, heading into the final game of this international break. But who will take advantage? We'll get to that in a minute. Big shout out once again to the VIPs. They are the patrons. And again, if you're new, hit the old subscribe button. Alright then, folks, now before we jump into the deep end, we are going to take a little look back at how we all got on last round then, with the old first round of games. So here they are on the screen right about now. That's right. Kosovo, they did lose to Romania. Big win for them. 3-0 on the road. Lithuania did lose to Cyprus. I went the other way on that one. The Welsh and the Turkish, 0-0 in the end. I went with the draw myself. Iceland with a 2-1 win, 2-0 win over Montenegro. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Slovenia with an Austria duked it out to a 1-1 draw. I went with a 0-0 draw. Just a 0-0 as well between Kazakhstan and Norway. When are we going to see Norway actually kicking in the top gear? They've got one of the best teams, realistically, individually, on paper. Why aren't they getting any results? Anyway, a 0-0 against Kazakhstan. I went with an away win. 3-1 win. I got the scoreline right, but I got the wrong way, of course. I went with the French. The Italians stood up and showcase what they're all about now. Of course, maybe they can kick in a gear and get some more glory days back to them, the Italianos. And then Belgium with a 3-1 win over Israel. I did all right there. A couple of draws, which I got put a spot on, but a couple of clangers in there, of course. Now, this is where typically where we would show yours, but we are on the road, so we're going to bring you bang up to date with the Prediction League when we come back in October for the next round, match number 3. But just keep on going, keep on predicting. They all count in the end. But this is the current state of play in the tables after the majority of match number 1 completed. We are recording on the day of the third set of games for match number 1. We're going to bring you the third video tomorrow once those games come to conclusion. But currently, this is how it looks. Poland, Portugal opening up with wins, as did Italy and Belgium in their respective groups. Germany and the Dutch, etc., yet to kick a ball. However, over in Group 4, we have the Danes with a win, with the Spanish yet to really get going. Meanwhile, down we dip, down we go. Of course, a lot of games still to be had in League B, including the Ukrainians and the Georgians, the English and the Greeks, of course, in action today. A lot of draws knocking around down here, though. Nothing can be separated between the sides in Group 3. That's in the League B. Iceland with a win. The Welsh and the Turkish with a draw as well. The Swedes also up with a win. And did Slovakia. Romania, Cyprus, also big wins for them down the foot end. Northern Ireland also got a win as well in the opening round matches. And currently, as we speak, the Faroes are beating North Macedonia. That is not a typo. And of course, down the foot end, San Marino did get a monstrous win. And we'll talk about that probably in another video, or maybe we've already talked about it. I don't know. We're going to talk about, I don't know. But anyway, that's that. Again, the prediction is open. Get in amongst it, get predicting, and we'll see how well you do next time around. All right, then, folks, here we are with this second round of matches. We've got some absolute Bobby Dazzlers on here, including France against Belgium. We're going to talk about that one first, and then we're going to work our way down to the bottom where Romania will take on Lithuania. So let's get cracking and talk about one of the bigger games of the round. It is El Francois up against Le Belgium, of course, neighbours on the map. We're heading in there right here, right now, at the Groupama Stadium in Paris, of course, and we look forward to this crunch clash. That's right, of course, France against Belgium, familiar foes. Played 14 times since 1938. 7 wins for the French, 3 for the Belgians, and 4 draws, of course. We got France managed by Didier Deschamps. He's still there. 50% form for them, though, at the moment. 1-2 lost to and drawn to over the last 6, including back-to-back defeats. We'll talk about that in a minute. Belgium, though, 58% form. They do come in on the back of a win. And, of course, they've just lost once in the last 4 under Tedesco. The last match that these two sides played was this summer in the Euros. France came out on top with a 1-0 win in the Euro knockout stage round of 16. However, Belgium's last victory was way back in 2015. It was a 7-goal thriller. Let's hope we get a bit of that action. But, of course, it is France. 3 wins on the bounce against the Belgians. But they do come into this on the back of back-to-back defeats, losing to Spain in the semi-finals of the Euros and again to Italy at Paris not long ago. Meanwhile, the Belgians come into this on the back of a 3-1 win over Israel. And coming at you right here, right now, we do have odds. And the odds go in favour favour of Belgium. There is, of course, at their own stadium. It's going to be a tricky old game, and I am going to back them to bounce back with a 2-1 win over Belgique. And of course, it'll give them a big old boost as they try to climb League A Group 2. Next up, of course, over in the same group, it is League A Group 2, and it's Israel up against Italy. Now, we're actually heading over to Budapest for this game, as of course, Israel trying to get back to winning ways. Italy trying to make it 2 wins out of 2. Israel managed by Ranben Shimon up against Italy and Luciano Spalletti. Now, they have played 3 times since 1970. Israel yet to get a win against Italians, who boast 2 victories and 1 draw between the 2 sides. Israel, on the back of just 1 win in the last 4, against Italy's 1 win in the last 4 as well. But contrasting form, 33% form for Israel, 58% form for Italy heading into this match. Last time around, these 2 sides played in Israel as a 3-1 win for Italy way back in September 2016. Of course, Israel on the back of that 3-1 loss to Belgium. Their last victory was against Belarus back in June. The Italians with that 3-1 win over La France. Prior to that, they did lose to the Swiss in the round of 16 in the Euros, of course. Yes, typically we should favour Italy on this one, and I am going that way, as are the bookies. They're fancying the Italians quite heavily, so I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. It was on the screen momentarily. 2-0 win it was for Italy in my eyes. All right, folks, next up we go over to Scandinavia, and in particular we're heading over to Oslo in Norway as they take on Austria, of course, in League B Group 3. It's Stania Solbakken up against Ralf Ragnick in the dugouts. Now, these 2 sides are, again, familiar foes, played 7 times since 1959. We've got 1 win for Norway. We have 5 wins for Austria, and there's been 1 draw between the 2 sides. Norway, 42% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4, however, drawn 3 of that last 6. Up against Austria, 50% form for them right now. Back-to-back games without a win. Of course, they were phenomenal in the Euros, but of course stumbled when, of course, they were just getting started. Last time that these 2 sides played, it was in Austria. It was in the Nations League. It was a 1-1 draw. Last time they played in Norway, it was a 2-1 win for Austria back in September 2020. The Norwegians on the back of a 0-0 draw against Kazakhstan. The Austrians on the back of a 1-1 draw against Slovenia. Both sides were away sides, and of course Austria are once again in the away dugout for this match over in the Ullevall venue, which is of course the stadion in Oslo. Which way are we swinging on this one? I am going to be swinging. I'm going with the hosts here with a 1-0 win for Norway. I've got to see them win, and hopefully they can get themselves a monster win that might give them a boost and maybe push them towards promotion in the Nations League. Next up, we head over to Slovenia. That's right, aka Maribor. Slovenia take on Kazakhstan in League B Group 3. That's right, played twice these 2 sides since 2023. 2 wins out of 2 for Slovenia, who are coached by Boštjan Cesar, up against Stanislav Chikashov, who coaches Kazakhstan. The Slovenians are the draw specialists. They've drawn 5 of the last 6 matches, 42% form for them right now. Kazakhstan are the losing specialists, 5 defeats of the last 6. The last time these 2 sides played in Slovenia was a 2-1 win for Slovenia back in November 2023. It was in the Euros. It was a qualification phase where Slovenia have won back-to-back 2-1s over Kazakhstan. They're coming into this on the back of that 1-1 draw against Austria. The Kazakhstanis also coming into on the back of that monstrous draw against Norway, 0-0 in the end. Tight one, which won this one? The bookie's going with Slovenia, as am I think. Just going to nick it with the 1-0 win on their own turf. Next up for us, folks, we are heading over to Montenegro. That's right, for League B Group 4 action, as Montenegro under Robert Prosinecki, legend that he is, up against Wales, up against Craig Bellamy, another legend. 2 legends in the dugout taking place at the Stadion Graditsky, where these 2 sides have played for 3 times since 2009. 2 wins for Montenegro, 1 win for Wales, no draws at the moment. Montenegro, though, 3 defeats on the spin for them at the moment, not looking good. As for the Welsh, under Bellamy, of course, recently became coach, 42% form for them over the last 6, but he does come into this on the back of a solid draw against the Turkish in Wales. Montenegro, though, did lose to Iceland, and they haven't picked up a win since they beat North Macedonia way back in March 2024. Welsh's last victory was a 4-1 win over Finland in the European Euros qualification matches way back in March. Now, these 2 sides last played, it was in Wales. It was a 2-1 win for the Welsh back in September 2011. Prior to that, they have played twice in Montenegro, with Montenegro winning both of them. So this, of course, will be something that the Welsh would like to rectify. The bookies on this one, they actually go for the Welsh on this, which is quite surprising. For me, I think I'm also siding with the Welsh. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. Under Bellamy, you know, he's got that bit between his teeth. He is a bit of a no-nonsense kind of guy, and I think he will make the Welsh grind out a result here against Montenegro, which will be their first on Montenegro's soil. Staying in the same group, that's League B Group 4, it's Turkey up against Iceland, that's right, taking place at the Gruzal Askel Stadium over in Turkey. Turkey managed by Vincenzo Montella, up against Angie Haredes. Iceland, that's right, played 8 times since 1994. We have 4 wins for Iceland, would you Adam believe it? Up against 2 victories for the Turkish and 2 draws as well. They have played last time around in Turkey. It was a 0-0 draw back in November 2019. Turkey's last victory, I'm looking back at my records here, was way back in October 2015 in Turkey. Goodness gracious me. The Turkish on 58% form for them right now, just back-to-back games without a win. Iceland winning 3 and losing 2 out of the last 5. Might be cooking a little bit under Angie Haralde. They come in just on the back of that 2-0 win over Montenegro. The Turkish with that 0-0 draw against Welsh. Prior to that, though, there was that quarter-final loss to the Dutchies. The bookies will back the Turkish here. Of course, overwhelming favoured. Iceland will go into the radar here, but I'm going to back the Turkish. They've got an intimidating home crowd at the Gürsoy Askel Stadium. So 2-0 win for me for Turkey to nick it. All right, let's hop on over to the island of Cyprus. That's right, we're going to take on Cyprus, taking on Kosovo over in League C Group 2. Of course, Cyprus managed by Timuri Kitspire, the Georgian superstar legend, up against Kosovo, and Franco Voda, the German. That's right, played twice since 2022. 2 wins out of 2 for Kosovo, nothing for Cyprus, no draws between the two sides. However, the Cypriots, 58% form for them right now, back-to-back wins coming into this. Up against Kosovo, have lost 3 on the bounce. The last time that these two sides played in Cyprus was back in June 2022. It was in the Nations League. It was a 2-0 win for Kosovo. Kosovo haven't scored a goal, and I don't even know how when. What we're looking at, 3 games without a goal. They've conceded 8 in those last 3, losing to Romania, Norway, and Hungary to boot. As for the Cypriots, a couple of wins under their locker and a narrow losses to Moldova and Serbia, but of course got big wins against San Marino and Lithuania to kick off their Nations League with an away win. The bookies on this one, they do go with Kosovo here, overwhelming favoured. For me, I think I am leaning towards a Cyprus getting something out of this. I'm going to go with a draw myself. Point to piece. There's got to be a couple of draws in here, and that is one of them. All right, folks, and then we're going to wrap it all up. Oh, with a visit to Romania, aka the Stoia Stadium. That's right, over in Bucharest. Romania have played Lithuania 6 times since 2003. They've won 5 of them. They have lost 1 of them, and they've drawn 0. Romania under Mircea Lucescu is the coach. 50% form for them right now. Just 1 win in the last 4 up against Lithuania under Edgaras Jakanakaras, who is a Lithuanian ledge. Back-to-back defeats for them, though, heading into this match. The last time that these two sides played in Romania was a 3-0 win back in November 2018. Romania have won, what we're looking at, 4 on the spin against the Lithuanians, conceding just 1 goal in those last 4. Which was back in Lithuania in October 2018. Lithuania do come in just on the back of a 1-0 loss to Cyprus. Their last win outright was a 2-0 win over Latvia in the Bolton Cup. Back in June. Meanwhile, the Romanians coming in just on the back of that 3-0 win over Kosovo in Kosovo back in September. Which way are we swinging? Well, the bookies, they are going with Romania, overwhelmingly so. Lithuania, absolute underdogs. Got to go with a 2-0 win. It might be more than that to complete the pack and complete my set of matches, guys. Those are those. Don't forget to get in with the Super Duper Prediction League. It is free. We'll bring you bang up to date when we return for those in October. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. Until then, guys and girls, we are done.